welcome to this video. I am Shubhe Vishwakarma and reporting currently from Jerusalem. With me is Noah, who is a member of Stand with Israel, and we'll talk to him, understand what is the initiative and all he has to say about India. Welcome Noah to our channel.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay.
So my name is Noah Shufutinsky. It's a pleasure to be here speaking to you. And I'm the Associate Director of Global Partnerships and Education for Stand With Us, based at our office here in Jerusalem, Israel.
Okay. So tell us a little about Stand With Us.
So Stand With Us, we're an international organization. We were founded in 2001. And our goal is Israel education. So we're an Israel education organization. We're nonpartisan. We're a Zionist organization. So of course we believe in the Jewish right to have a state here in the Jewish people's homeland, which is Israel. And our mission is fighting anti-Semitism and supporting Israel.
Okay. Okay. You told us about your family history, which is very interesting. So a little about your family history and your journey back to Israel.
Yeah, so my family history is pretty all over the place. My dad's side of the family is from the former Soviet Union, so Russian Jews on that side who fled the Soviet Union in the 1980s, made their way to the United States, some of them actually coming here to Israel, and Israel was always a core aspect of Jewish identity. And on my mom's side, I come from rich Black American roots from the South, making their way to the West Coast, to California, and again, a similar value of being able to know your story and tell it. So whether it's from my Russian Jewish roots or my Black American and Jewish roots, I was always raised to know how important it is to know the Jewish history, to know our roots, and know how important it is to hold on to it, not just for ourselves, but also to honor all the ancestors who came before us and sacrificed for us to have this freedom.
I mean, you were spending a good life in America. What made you return to Israel?
So personally, I got very involved in Israel education as a university student, and Stand With Us and all the Stand With Us programs like the Emerson Fellowship, also there's a high school internship, helped give me a lot of the Israel education I needed to combat anti-Semitism, but also to develop my own personal relationship with the state of Israel and the land of Israel. So ultimately, I wanted to pay that forward. And for me, that meant coming back to the land of Israel, raising a family here, and also professionally getting involved in Israel education for students who have the chance to come visit here, and communities who get to come here and see, this country with their own eyes.
With Israel-Iran issue going on and the Palestine in your neighborhood, and the October 7 event, what changed after October 7?
So I think after October 7th, we saw a resurgence of anti-Semitism at a level many people had never anticipated before on campuses around the world. And I think within Israel, it also shifted a lot of perspectives on the importance of the global image of Israel when they saw that anti-Semitism rise. This is work that Stand With Us has been doing for 25 years, and many of us like to say that we were built for this moment, and sadly, our mission is coming to fruition because we're actually having to be on the front lines of this fight against anti-Semitism, whether it's in the media or academia.
Okay. You spoke about the demography of Israel. Can you speak a little about it, and what are the issues in terms of minorities or something like that?
Yeah, so Israel's a democratic state. Currently, it's a majority Jewish state with a 20% Arab minority, predominantly Muslim as well as Christian, where there is entitlement to all of the same rights as everyone else for every citizen of Israel, regardless of your race, your ethnicity, or religion. I think a lot of people in the world don't realize that. They don't realize the extent that the minorities within Israel are an active part of Israeli society. And they also don't realize that Israel, like every democratic country, while it may have its issues, has a structure that allows for people to fight for more justice. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about this country.
Okay. So many friends of mine who have come to this trip must have asked you that if Jews can convert to other religion, or other people can convert to Jew and convert and become Jew. So this comes because in India, conversion in current times is a very big problem, and we are facing real threat from it, be it radicalization or things like that. So do people here in Israel, Jewish people, convert to Islam or convert to Christianity, and is it posing a significant threat as it is being posed in India?
So I'm not sure the exact demographics. From my knowledge, it's not very common for Jews to convert out of Judaism, and also for other religions to necessarily convert to Judaism. And Judaism itself, it's a value to not go out to try and proselytize or get other people to convert. It's actually, you're not allowed to do it. And if someone wants to convert to Judaism, they're told no multiple times because it's against their religion. That being said, I know that in general around the world, it is a concern of people. And regardless of what religion someone chooses to practice, at Stand With Us, we have members of all backgrounds and all faiths. And it's important for us that we share what Israel's story is, and that people are rooted in their own history and their own roots. And regardless of which religion they practice, what it ends up resulting is people knowing their actual roots and being connected to it. So I think that's also part of the reason why we see people in Israel who are so tied to the practices they were brought up with. Even if they practice more or less than their parents, they know what their Jewish identity is, and it's something that's extremely important to them. And the same could probably be said for the Muslim and Christian communities
Okay,
who live
my
here.
final question. You, in your presentation, mentioned crypto Jew. What is it? Define crypto Jew.
So crypto Jews is a term that's usually referring to people who are forced to convert in public but maintain their Jewish roots indoors. Some notable examples would be Jews in Spain following the Spanish Inquisition who were told to convert under threat of violence, in which in Jewish law you're allowed to do so because we have this value of the sanctity of life, but in their own home they preserve their Jewish practices to continue that line and continue that tradition, rather than genuinely converting. Or in Mashhad, Iran, with the Mashhadi Jews, they were forced to convert under death hundreds of years ago, and you had an entire community that in public eye practiced Islam, Shia Islam I believe specifically, but in privacy in their homes and amongst their own community, held on to their Jewish roots for hundreds of years up until the point today. They still have unique ways of practicing Judaism specific to that city in Iran.
Okay, fascinating. Anyway, now coming to the final question, how do you see in your relationship with India, and what I mean in coming years, where do you see this going?
So India has always been a friend of Israel. I think from the Indian people to the Indian government have always shared strategic partnerships, whether it's in defense and security, whether it's in agriculture, whether it's in the economy, and of course culturally and with the people being two outposts of people who are rooted in their land and understand the dangers of outside forces who want to see that come to an end. So personally, I see a continuation of growth in that. I hope to see more involvement and connection between communities in India and Stand With Us as an organization to continue to foster that connection, not just at diplomatic levels, but in a person-to-person level, so we can get to know one another more.
Okay, great. Thank you for speaking.
Thank you so much for the time.